Hello students, now we are going to start with the microsporangium. This is the structure of the TS of anther. The transverse section of a typical microsporangium more or less appears circular in outline. It is made up of or it is covered by four protective wall layers. These four protective wall layers, outermost is called as epidermis, second layer is called as endothecium, third one is called as middle layer, fourth one is tapetum, and in the center it shows the presence of the sporogenous tissue. Epidermis, single layer of compactly arranged cells are there. These cells are protective in nature. Second layer, that is the endothecium. Endothecium present inner to the epidermis. It is also made up of single layer of radially elongated cells. These cells possess band of the callus, so they help in the dehiscence. Along with the protection, they help in the dehiscence of the anther at maturity. The next layer is called as middle layer. Inner to the endothecium, one more layer is there, and this layer is called as a middle layer. These middle layers are made up of 3 to 4 layers of cells. These cells are thin walled, compactly arranged. At the maturity of the anther, these middle layers are crushed. These are also protective in nature at the younger one. Next to the middle layers, the next layer is called as a tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost layer, and this tapetum surrounds the sporogenous tissue. This tapetum, it is made up of compactly arranged cells. The cells of the tapetum, they show the dense cytoplasm and they show the multinucleate condition. This multinucleate condition is due to the repeated endomitosis. The mitotic division occurs without the cytokinesis and it results in polyploidy condition also. So the tapetal cells having the dense cytoplasm and they show the multinucleate condition. The main function of the tapetum, this tapetum provides the nourishment to the developing pollen mother cells, that is microspore mother cell and the pollen grains. So this is the structure portion of the anther at the dehiscence stage. At the dehiscence stage, these middle layers, some few layers of the middle layers are crushed down, only few layers are visible. When the pollen grains are completely formed, the dehiscence of the anther wall takes place and all the pollen grains are released. So these are the four wall layers. So middle layer, endothecium, tapetum and this one. Then now we are going to start with the process of the microsporogenesis. What is microsporogenesis? Process of formation of the microspore or the pollen grain is called as a microsporogenesis. So all the cells of the sporogenous tissue which are present in the anther, it act as a microspore mother cell. Each cell acts as a microspore mother cell. This microspore mother cell, as it is diploid in nature, it undergoes the process of meiosis. After the meiosis, when it produces the microspore dyad, two cells are formed. These two cells undergo the meiosis too and it forms the microspore tetrad. So the four microspores are formed which are remain attached to each other. All these four microspore tetrad, they are haploid in nature. At maturity, when the anther matures, these microspore tetrad or microspores from the tetrad, they separate from each other and they develop into the pollen grain. The pollen grain, it represents the male gametophyte of the angiosperm. So these are the developmental stages of the pollen grain. So this is the structure of the microspore, single microspore. This microspore develops into the pollen grain. During this microspore, which is earlier spherical in shape and it is uninucleate. During the development of the microspore into the pollen grain, this nucleus undergo the unequal mitotic division and it forms the two cells. So at maturity, the pollen grain, it either two celled or three celled. In majority of the angiosperm, that is 60% of angiosperm it is 2-celled, and in remaining 40% of the angiosperm it is 3-celled when it is completely mature or at the time of its shedding. So this is the development of the pollen grain. One single nucleus of the microspore, then there is a formation of the vacuoles in the cytoplasm takes place, unequal mitotic division, asymmetric spindle is formed, and because of that two unequal cells are produced in this place. So the mature pollen grain, now we are going to study with the structure of the mature pollen grain. So this is the mature pollen grain. This pollen grain consists of this pollen grain is spherical in shape. It is about 25 to 30 microns in diameter. It consists of two wall layers. Outer wall is called as exine and the inner wall is called as a intine. Exine, it is the outermost tough layer made up of sporopolanin. Sporopolanin is the most resistant organic substance. It can withstand high temperature, strong acid, and strong alkali. No any enzymes that degrade the sporopolanin are still known. Inside the exine, there are some pores are there, some opaque areas are there where the sporopolanin is absent. Those opaque areas are called as the germpores. Through the germpores only there is a formation of the pollen tube takes place. The pollen grains are well preserved in the fossils due to the presence of the sporopolanin. Actually, the exine, it is made up of again two wall layers. One layer inner is called as endexine, outer is called as a ectexine. Again ectexine is consist of three layers: inner continuous foot layer, middle discontinuous baculate layer, and the outer discontinuous tectum. The particular ornamentations or the surface on the surface of the pollen grain, particular pattern of the design is there. Accumulation of the sporopolanin is due to the tectum layer, and these ornamentations on pollen grain, they are also used in the taxonomical studies for identification of a particular pollen grain. Intine, intine is a delicate wall made up of cellulose and pectin. During the pollen germination, pollen tube formed through the germ pore by the intine only. So the mature pollen grain consists of two-celled. So this is the two-celled structure of the pollen grain. In this two-celled structure of the pollen grain, it consists of a larger cell, and this larger cell is called as a vegetative cell and the lower cell is called as a generative cell. Vegetative cell larger in size, rich in abundant food material, and it shows a irregular lobed nucleus, while the generative cell, it is spindle shaped. It floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell and it shows the lobed nucleus. So 2-celled condition in 60% of angiosperm. In remaining angiosperm, this generative cell undergo another mitotic division and it forms the two male gametes, and that is the 3-celled condition observed in few of the angiosperms. These pollen grains cause severe allergy and respiratory problems. The pollen grains cause severe allergy and respiratory problems like asthma and bronchitis. A very common example is the pollen allergy of the carrot grass and the parthenium. Similarly, the pollen grains are also rich in nutrients. They are used as a food supplement. From the pollen grain, pollen syrups and tablets are prepared in Western countries, which are used to enhance the performance of athletes and racehorses. Even the pollen grains are also used in the preparation of ointment which protect the skin from the UV radiation. Pollen viability. The period for which the pollen grain retain its capacity to germinate on stigma, it is called as pollen viability. The viability period of the pollen in case of the rice and wheat is about 30 minutes. In case of the plants which belong to the family Leguminaceae, Rosaceae and Solanaceae, the pollen viability is of several months. Pollen bank. Preservation of pollen grain in liquid nitrogen at minus 196 degrees Celsius is called as a cryopreservation. The centers where the pollen grains are preserved, those are called as a pollen bank. These pollen banks play very important role in the plant breeding program where the pollen grains are used.